What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the JMC podcast. My name is Bavik, and what a weekend of Premier League football we've just seen. On the podcast today, we're going to have Rishi, Nish, and Mitt. What do you think, guys? What a weekend we had. We'll start with the game at the top of the table with Arsenal and Liverpool. What a rollercoaster that was.
Who wants to go first? Go on, Nish.
Yeah, it was. It was. I don't know what to say about that game because it had everything. The first 35 minutes, we were in total control. We scored two beautiful goals. Liverpool couldn't get a sniff. Even then, like when we were 2-0 up, I knew like something is going to go wrong because it usually always happens at Anfield where you don't want to rile up the crowd or get Anfield involved, and that's exactly what happened when Xhaka and Trent collided. And then after that, they scored straight away. Not that they scored right before halftime, but I think if Xhaka doesn't do that to Trent, it didn't. I don't think it really riled up the crowd, but it re-energized the Liverpool players. And in second half, we just couldn't get out. They completely battered the hell out of us in the second half. We lost all control. Arteta made some negative subs, which I wasn't happy with. I think we should have gone head to head with them in the second half. We went way too defensive, and in the end, I think Liverpool should have won in the second half. They missed a penalty. I don't know. I don't know what Salah's thinking. He's missed two penalties now, so. Yeah, and then anything could happen in the last 20 seconds. That was just like disgusting. Where Konate literally should have scored that. I don't know what he was doing. And then in the other end, we could have snatched the winner, and then Martinelli just overhit his pass. So if you told me beforehand that I would have taken a point at Anfield, then I would have bit your hand off. But I wasn't. I was annoyed at the end that we dropped 2 points because we were 2-0 up. But considering the circumstances, we got away with murder, and I would take that point, but I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, I think for me it was a lucky draw. We did deserve to lose because of the amount of chances that they had. We also had chances to go 3-2 up, especially the one where Martinelli did that through ball to Saka. If that was an inch closer to Saka, he would have scored that goal. And I thought that was the moment. I thought we were gonna score, and I was like, yeah, this is a title. But it's in a tricky, like we're in a little tricky situation at the moment where because we dropped 2 points, but at the same time, it could also be seen as a valuable point because we're the only team out of the top 6 that have got a point at Anfield. Every other top team has lost there. So we can take a lot of positives out of that game and use that as an extra motivation to build up the 2 games I think we've got until we face CE. So get the 6 points and then use that, the lessons that we learned from the Anfield, and go and face Man City at the Etihad. Or I can say that Anfield is the toughest ground to actually go and play because once the crowd gets involved, that's it. You're finished. Like last year happened, this year happened. We saw what happened with Xhaka, our best player, ended up energizing Trent. That Trent was basically not even in the game until that happened. And then my man became fucking Lionel Messi. Like he literally started to like play with passion. And then that's the trend I have been used to seeing in Liverpool for the last few years. And he energized the team. It all started from that moment onwards and also they scored that goal right before the halftime. So it's one of those games that there are a lot of positives. Take all the positives out of it, especially Ramsdale with that double world-class save that he made right at the depth of the 90th minute. I couldn't believe it that he actually made that save. I thought we were going to lose.
I thought that was the game.
And
We should have won that. Like, I feel for me, that was I was disappointed that we didn't win it, even though we were 2-0 down. Just from that 60 minutes that we played, as soon as Xhaka, my man Xhaka, went and did his stuff and started fight, and he brought the crowd back into it, I could see us scoring about 4 or 5 goals in that second half. We literally, and that was a good thing to see. Even though we didn't win, the good thing to see was that I've never seen Arsenal battered like that in the second, like in any half. And to see our team do that, it was like, okay, there's still something within the team there, even though it's not consistent. At least we've got something there, which was the good thing to see. I thought for that first, that was just crap, man. That pissed me off. I was watching those shitty 11 players just running around in a circle, also just playing all around us. No closing down, or they tried to close down, did absolutely nothing. But yeah, the crowd woke the players up and it just totally changed. And then, man, Salah, I think he's a proper clown, man. How you can have penalties and not get any on target, that's just shameful, you know that? Like when he missed it, he was actually, like, you can see how pissed off he was, but that is because you're getting paid that much money because of you. Mane left and just full on miss a whole net. Even I could score that. I can just get on target. Give me 2 penalties. I'm sure one of them will go on target and one of them potentially would go in as well. But I thought they did play well. I think top 4 for Liverpool's finished now. There's no way we're getting top 4 anymore. So I don't know what I'll be watching for the rest of the season. I'll be watching it. I wouldn't care if we lose anymore because there's nothing for us to play for. Only Europa League.
Well, next for Mo Salah, does he go off penalties or does he go to someone else? Does he carry on? What's your take on that?
The whole team's, I don't know. I would still trust Salah over everyone else to take a penalty for us because the only thing he has to do is just put power and just shoot it down the middle. Anywhere down the middle will go in, like what he normal penalty would do. I guess because that's, if you watch his like last 4 or 5 penalties when he did score, he would literally just blast it down the middle. Yeah. And because the goalkeepers always commit right or left, no one stands up just to save it, which is why I don't know why he changed it, and I don't like his run up at all. Like you're in a set position. Why would you then take a step back, then jog around towards the right, and then go running in? Like your whole position's just changed then from where you expected to where your planting foot's going to be. You wouldn't know where that's going to end up.
Watching as a neutral, that was an epic game. It was end to end. They had a bit of everything. It's one of those games that you'll probably look back in, 4 or 5 years' time, and it'll be one of those all-time classics. Very similar to the 4-4. You might remember when Arshavin got 4. Very topsy-turvy game that, again, decided the destiny of the title. So we'll see how that goes.
Now it's the other way around.
The other way around, yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying throughout the match, I was like saying, just don't rile up the crowd. Whatever you do, just keep the crowd out of it because they were dead. Like they were watching a masterclass from us. Like we were just playing all around Liverpool, and I was just saying, don't do anything stupid. You're like 1-0 up. Don't do anything stupid. You're 2-0 up. And then when the 40th minute came, just get into half time 2-0. Like just don't give them a reason. And then when Xhaka got involved, I was like, oh, fuck's sake, he gave them a reason. And then straight 35 seconds later, they scored from that. And I was like, the second half is going to feel like 10 hours. Like literally, it was like nail-biting stuff second half. Like we just couldn't get out. We just camped in our own half. And yeah, what Mitch said is right. Like, I don't think I've seen us dominated like that this season, and only Anfield, Liverpool can do that to you. Like they'll just murder you. And Liverpool, that's just Liverpool for you at Anfield. Even Gary Neville was saying on commentary that he hates playing at Anfield. I think Pep said something similar that playing at Anfield is one of them things where you just don't like. They just don't give you room, and all that thing is right. Like that's probably the toughest ground like you could play in the Premier League.
Like, yeah, Carl made a good point yesterday that the crowd is like your 12th man, but when you come to Anfield, it's more like a 13th man.
Yeah.
It does add on that extra pressure compared to other grounds that you go to.
Something in the walls at Anfield just brings out the best in the team, and crazy stuff happens. So you feel like the world's coming apart when you're playing there at times. It's an amazing, thing to have Liverpool.
Like for me, I felt like I wasn't even involved in the game, and I felt like I was getting bombarded. Like I was mentally drained after watching that game. I was so nervous because I was like, we're 2-0 up. We're gonna bottle this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just couldn't watch the game anymore because I could feel it. Like I can feel Liverpool coming. I can feel that them scoring. But one of the things I take away from that game is that the way we handled Liverpool for the first 40 minutes, we never, like Arsenal never performs well at Anfield since 2012 is our last win. And then we had 2 draws and all of them else until yesterday. And I thought, okay, playing at Anfield is our worst place to play our game. We keep losing there, so expect 0 points. At the Etihad, Arsenal perform better, even though we may not get the results, but we don't get bombarded like how Liverpool bombard us. We play a lot better than we do at Anfield. So that gave me a little hope that when we go to Etihad in 3 weeks' time, I think we can actually handle Man City just like the way we did with Liverpool for like 45 minutes until that happened with Xhaka moment.
Yeah,
I think we can handle them and get something out of that game. I think we can do it.
but City kill you a different way. They don't get the crowd involved. They kill you with possession. So, you just can't take the ball off them. That's my main worry. But I think what the Emirates game showed me is that we had more possession against City. So if we can do that at the Etihad, then I'll be confident. But I think City, when it comes to a run-in, they'll be up for it. So that's what I'm scared of. And they just turn it up when they need to. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah, I think if they score the first goal, I think it's done. I think they'll just go on and win 2-3-0, potentially 4-0. Just because if you look at City's last 3-4 games, they've averaged 4 goals as well. So I think they're starting to peak now, where the team's just starting to work. Like Grealish is actually playing really good. I thought Grealish was just shit, but in the last few games, he's actually stepped up and he's been their main creator in the team.
Yeah, even the defense is starting to work. Like they're playing Ake at left back, Stones as right back, and he's playing the inverted fullback role. So they're just clicking at the right time. And this was my main worry that so when City got click at the right time, they just become juggernauts. And we've been saying this, like in a run-in, City is the worst team to be for them to be catching you. It's just you look over your shoulder and before you know it, they're above you, and that's the type of team City are. Like you can have 95 points and still not win the title with them. So, I just wish Pep would leave. I think, Mitt's been through that for the last couple of years with them getting 90 plus points and, them not winning. And I think the same thing's going to happen to us. And I just wish that guy would leave and leave everyone alone.
And he needs to go back to Barcelona, man. They need the help. Even though they top the league, they need the help to compete against Real Madrid. They got mutted by them.
Like, do you guys think if Arsenal don't win the league, is it a bottle job?
No, I think you've exceeded expectations.
I don't think it's a bottle job. We could get 90 points and not win the league. And that's expected.
And every other fan will say that Arsenal did a bottle job. So that's just what other fans do anyway, in general.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think it's more about if you lot don't win it, you lot will be gutted because you would be at the expectation that you should have won it this year. Like this is like what.
But what we need to do is that if we don't win it, we need to do what you guys did the year after and win 26 out of 27 games and then just use that as a motivation to do that, because you completely ripped her apart the next season. And you got what, 97 points and not win the league, and then the season after that you won it 99 points and you just completely ripped her apart. So that's something we need to do and use that as a motivation and not just feel sorry for ourselves. So hopefully we try and do that.
And I think we could take motivation from you lot from going from like an 8th place team to competing for the title the following year.
I think it shows you don't need a 3-4 year process. You can challenge very quickly. But Arsenal's shown that you don't. If you get one summer window right and get the right recruitments in, you can start challenging.
Yeah, I think it's more about just play the right football. Once you play the right football, any player can look good. Like Xhaka, we thought he was literally shit for the last 10 years. And because they're starting to play a football he likes and the position he likes, you think, oh, look, it's a completely different player.
Yeah.
I'll ask you, Liverpool have been playing good football for years, so what's gone wrong this season?
I have no clue what's gone wrong. It's the passion. The intensity has just dropped. There's no intensity from that, and the midfield is just tired. Like Fabinho's just an old man, Henderson's an old man, and you've got crappy old Elliott and Curtis Jones in there. Who, literally, when I watch Elliott, I get another run on Elliott. Whenever I watch him play, when I see someone close down, 1 in about 10 times they'll take the ball off someone. Whenever he closes someone down, that person can just literally walk past him. They'll just move the ball left or right, and Elliott's just gone. They've gone past him now. The next person has to commit, and then that just starts opening up the whole midfield and defense for us.
We made Curtis Jones look like Iniesta yesterday. Like he's when I saw your midfield, I'm like, we have to play all over that midfield because your midfield was diabolical, and we did that for the first 40 minutes. But then, the second half, we made him look absolutely world class, and I'm just like, this is just high Anfield so much. I don't know how you felt, Bab, after that 7-0. You must have switched the game off at 4-0 or something.
Yeah, I was done at 3-0. I've been watching the rest. It was absolute waste of a day.
Man,
But
no,
it can do that to you. Yeah, that's why we couldn't do an episode that day.
And did it turn off?
Oh God. My brother-in-law was a staunch Liverpool fan, and he was going to town with the memes. It was mental. Oh man, I've never been trolled so hard.
Don't you got two of you now to compete against him.
That's
I think the only team that can handle Anfield is Real Madrid. Like there's just something about them. They're the only team that can, because even Barcelona, they were 3-0 up at Anfield and they bottled it. So I think the only team that Liverpool fear at Anfield is Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid just destroy us no matter what. Like if you even
What?
the only reason we've been knocked out
He's
in
going the same way as
4 or 5
Liverpool
years is
season.
Real Madrid.
Doesn't help.
And no, it's just Madrid. It's Madrid. It's Real Madrid and then Atletico Madrid.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties.
Yeah,
Oh,
technical difficulties right
Busy.
now.
Oh, am I back? Wait,
Yeah,
can you
no,
not
I can
hear
hear
me
you now.
anymore? Oh, okay. It's because Mo was trying to ring me.
We
I don't know what that did to my
We completely missed what you said though.
The only people that have knocked us out is the teams from Madrid. So Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in the last 4 or 5 years. They piss me off. Whenever I see them, I'm like, all right, it's done. No more Champions League anymore.
Well, moving on to the European places, the battle's hotting up for the top 4 with United, Tottenham, and Newcastle all winning, albeit hook or by crook for Tottenham. But how do we see that panning out?
Who's going to get top 4? I think it'll be Newcastle to get it.
Yeah, Newcastle and United. Newcastle have hit the form at the right time. Isaac is scoring, and they're just winning every game. Like Brentford, they beat Brentford, right? Brentford is a tough place to go, and they won after going 1-0 down. And United, they look secure for third, and I don't know Tottenham. I think they played a game more, so I don't see them like they'll be there and thereabouts, but they don't have Conte anymore. They don't have a proper manager. They got lucky against Brighton. I think Brighton should have won. They had like that penalty shout, and refs apologizing to them. So Tottenham got very lucky, and I think United still have to visit Tottenham as well. So I don't think Tottenham are going to make it, but I think it's for United and Newcastle to lose now. The top 3rd and 4th place.
The way I see it is that the way we got top 4 right now, it's going to be those 4 teams. That's what I see happening. Like Liverpool's lost their chance of even getting top 4 now. It's too far now. Yeah, it's going to be United and Newcastle for me. With obviously Arsenal and Man City already cemented that place.
So it just means Newcastle are going to be competing for the league next year when they just buy everyone. Mbappe, Newcastle. Like, I got Lampard, Chelsea, Mbappe, Newcastle.
The PGML, obviously, moving on to the whole refereeing debacle at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So the PGML released an apology admitting that VAR made a mistake in not awarding a penalty against Tottenham. And so this seems to be the 3rd time this season that's happened to Brighton. It's getting a bit of a farce now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awful, man. Even the same thing happened to us against Brentford, where they forgot to draw the lines. I don't know I don't know what they can do to change. They can't keep apologizing.
They need to get rid of these referees. They should get rid of. If a referee messes up, get rid of them. Like, there's no point. Well, if you make one mistake, just fuck you, man. You're done.
Well, Lee Mason left.
Yeah, if they know their job's on the line, they'll do it properly. They'll make sure they check all their checklists. Make sure, have I done the lines? Yeah. Is this whatever? Have I looked for handballs? Yeah, done all that crap.
I really do think there's corruption happening. I really do think that, because what I think is happening is that they're trying to make sure that the original top 6 do get top 6 positions. So they are trying their hardest to detriment some teams from getting any points, because Brighton deserved to win that game. Tottenham did not. I don't know how they got away with all those decisions. There were like 3 or 4 key decisions that went against them in one game.
When I watched it, I thought only one decision was incorrect. The rest were all fine. There was 2 handballs, and one of the penalties was quite light if they actually got it. I don't think you can overturn it. The only clear one was the Højbjerg on Mitoma. That was the only clear penalty that should have been given. Like, I don't know how that was given.
But you thought the other two were not handballs?
No, there was handballs. That's why they were correctly given. That's why Brighton had 2 disallowed goals. If a ball hits your arm, no goal should ever stand, because that's the only one that's not subjective. It's literally written in the law. If a ball hits a hand, then it shouldn't be a goal.
But the second one, it hit his hand. I thought it was more ball to hand rather than hand to ball, because his hands were beside him. He didn't move his hand like a clown all over the place to direct the ball. He actually hit his hand because he had it in the side.
But it would have the goalkeeper might have saved it if it never hit him in the first place.
The thing is, there is a rule for.
It's the wording, isn't it, in the law now?
There is a rule for it, but
it's a stupid rule.
There's been decisions where someone's handballed it and they've still given the goal. So they need to stick with the rule and follow the rules like by step, but they're not doing that, and they're forgetting the jobs, and is making the game more difficult, where you're up against the referees, you're up against the VAR now, and all the decisions go against you. And sometimes it's ridiculous the type of decisions that they come up with.
I really do think we've got the best league in the world with the shittest fucking ref in the world. Like the World Cup shows it. We had one referee at the World Cup. That shows how shit our referees are.
It's because you got linesmen trying to elbow football players as well now.
He should lose his job for that.
Yeah, he should lose his job. If a footballer did that to them, like Mitrovic, he's got 8-game ban. That linesman should never referee again as well. How you can go around trying to elbow a footballer is beyond me.
That's very
man. He wanted Arsenal to win that game, trying to take out our players. Like, he tried to kill Robertson with that elbow.
That was ridiculous, but the way Roy Keane said, like, he's a baby, he should get on with it, that made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm sure Robertson's getting his neck brace out after that altercation.
Yeah, look, this is what Robertson's doing right now. I'll sit like this for the whole thing, for the whole rest of it.
Man's game.
He's Andy Robertson for the podcast.
Yeah, bring him on and bring Kieran Tierney on as well.
All right, so we've got the quarterfinals of the Champions League coming up this week. How do you think that's going to impact the title race with City being involved?
I hope it does impact them, because they're going to be playing, like, they're going to force all their energy into the Bayern game, home and away, and they're going to have games in between. I believe there's a cup game in there for them as well against Sheffield United. So I hope it does. Like, they do whatever they can to get through, and it exerts all their energy into them, and then they have to go away in the weekend and play a Leicester or a Brighton away or a Brentford away. So, I hope it does exert all the energy, but they have been through doing this like for the past couple of years, and it's getting to a point where this is where City click into gear. But I actually hope that, it does affect them, because they can't go perfect. They've only gone perfect once. I was just looking at the run-in from the last couple of years, which was 18, 19, and, the other years they dropped points here and there. But this year they're going for the treble. So they could win the treble. If they, I believe if they do win the league, it'll be their third Premier League in a row, so they could match United as well.
You know what's so annoying is that they've only got one Premier League game during the Champions League, and that's Leicester out of all the teams, who we know that they just going to roll over and get beaten 4-0. I'm telling the scoreline's going to be 4-0 or 4-1 again to City.
Yeah.
Literally what's going to happen. And then they've got an FA Cup tie against Sheffield United where they can rest players because they don't need to play the full team there. So the schedule right now for the next set of Champions League games against Bayern is not going to really impact them with the Premier League. But I'm hoping as they get through, I'm hoping they get through because they will be facing Real Madrid next. So that's what I would like to see. That's when I have a feeling that that's when they face us, and they face. I don't know who they're facing after us, but I think it might.
I think it's Everton away.
Everton away, like that.
I don't want City to go through against Bayern Munich. I'd rather them just get knocked out, and then Bayern Munich can go and beat Madrid as well. But for Leicester, I feel like they did sell their soul for that title. Now they're literally going to get relegated, and they'll never come back up again. I think they're finished.
You'd rather win the Premier League title and get relegated, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they won a cup in there as well.
Yeah.
FA Cup.
Yeah, so that moves us nicely onto the predictions for this upcoming round of fixtures. So we'll start with the West Ham United Arsenal game. How do we see that going?
I think that's going to be an easy win. I think 3-0. West Ham also have a midweek game in the Conference League, so they're going to try and exert all the energy into that. And it reminds me of the game last year where they were in the Europa League and we faced them on that Sunday. And we beat them 2-1, but I remember watching All or Nothing documentary. Arteta gave a halftime team talk to say that they're completely finished physically. That physically they're not up for it because of what they did in Europa. So I think this is what this week's game will look like, and we're much better this year compared to last year. And also West Ham are atrocious as well. So I think this will be a comfy 3-0 win.
Is it West Ham v Arsenal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
West Ham's bogey team is Arsenal. I can't remember the last time West Ham even took a point from Arsenal. They just literally, whenever I watched them, I always thought West Ham was a hard team like a few years ago, and when Arsenal was shit, no matter what, Arsenal would go there and just roll them over.
Yeah, and I'm glad they still have Moyes, because I was worried they would sack Moyes after they lost 5-1 to Newcastle, but they've kept him, so that's another bonus for us that he performed shit and we'll win there.
Might get sacked this week. Never know.
I think it'll be 2-0.
Yeah, I think it will be a win against West Ham. I think we'll go back to our winning ways. But I think we're going to struggle for the first 30 minutes because of what happened at Anfield. And second half, I think we'll start playing our normal football again, and then we'll try and score. Or something like what happened with us against Aston Villa might actually happen. Because when Arsenal do end up losing or drawing this season, we do bounce back. But at the same time, we don't bounce back effectively. We do struggle, and then we do try to get the wins. So I think our confidence would have been a little dented if our psychological and mentally Arteta says the right things for the game, then I think we should be okay. But if we basically look into the negatives of what happened at Anfield, because we literally got destroyed in the second half, and if they think too much about that, I think we'll struggle against West Ham, regardless of whether they played on Thursday night or not.
Yeah,
but I don't think you'll think about it either. Just because when you lost to City, you bounced back straight away. Went 6-7 games win streak?
No. Yeah, but that game against Villa was a struggle. We literally won it in the last minute, so it was an actual struggle after the City game.
Yeah, that's what I think might happen. Like we'll get the win. I'm confident we'll get the win, but I think we'll struggle. So I think my scoreline is going to be either cheeky 2-1, snatch and grab kind of style of win, or we'll win 3-1 comfortably. But we need to score first. and we have to score first. Because if we concede first, I see struggling bus. We will be on the struggle bus.
See a comfortable win for Arsenal at West Ham. I just think they've got the look of a team who's deflated. I know they won the weekend just gone, but that performance against Newcastle was diabolical. The amount of errors they made and the high line they played. I think you're probably level above Newcastle, so you probably win there 3-0. I think.
You know, I think West Ham deserved to go through this struggle right now, because I think last year I remember listening to some next random deluded West Ham fan on TalkSport, and I think they were in the final last year, right? Or when they were in final?
Semi.
They beat Lyon. That's when that guy was like, "Oh, blah blah blah."
That guy was hyping, saying, "Yeah, we're the win. Next year's the Premier League." He was hyping it to another level, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
He was literally like, when City, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal go to West Ham in the future, they'll be scared to go there.
Man was
scared that he's going to get relegated now.
The ironic thing about that game last year, Arsenal-West Ham, in between the Europa game, obviously they went out of the Europa after we beat them, is that Moyes didn't rest players against us. And I think if he did rest, they would have, perhaps given them a little bit more, because obviously I think it was Frankfurt that beat them and they comfortably beat them. And he should have rested players against us, but he decided to try hard against us and he still lost. So, if they do go down, I hope they do go down, and apparently we're linked with Declan Rice, so we'll get him on a cheap then. So if they go down, bye and give us Declan Rice.
Isn't he still on like a 5-year contract? Like he's got 5 years left at West Ham.
No, I
don't know.
He's got 2 years. I think he's got 2 years.
Sure.
Or is it 1 year left? I think it's 1 or 2 years left.
But they're quoting him for like 80 to 100 million. So yeah, that's English tax on top.
Which he's not worth that much.
Nah.
He's not even in the top 3 CDMs in the Premier League right now.
But yeah, we're linked with him, so he'll have to join our football, innit? The way we play.
Liverpool will face a trip up to Ellen Road for their Monday night kickoff. How do we see that one going?
I don't care.
This is what Scousers are like.
I don't know. It's away. Like usually I'd say it's a comfy win, but because it's away, I think we'll lose. And they beat us at Anfield. They're the only team at Anfield in the last throughout when Van Dijk's been playing, he's never lost at Anfield in the Premier League. That was the first time. So I think they might even do the double over us. I wouldn't be surprised. Because did they win over the weekend?
No, they got battered by
Palace. 5-1.
Oh, okay. Done. We're winning 3-0. Darwin Núñez hat-trick. No, I'm joking. I think we'll either draw. I think it'll be 1-1 or something.
I'm sure I think Andy Robertson would have made a full recovery by that.
No, when I'm wearing this brace, I can even feel it. I would even get the elbow and I can feel the pain.
Yeah, I think
your neck brace and support.
Yeah. I'll wear this to work as well for the next week.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a 1-1 draw as well. Liverpool, away from home, they're a whole different story. But they had that pathetic game against Chelsea, which was funny because and I know, but the last week's one against Chelsea was like Chelsea just missed their chances. But away from home, Liverpool are just diabolical. But I still see this being a draw because Leeds are toothless as well.
I see this as a draw coming up. It will definitely not be a loss for Liverpool. But it's like two bad teams playing each other. You just don't know who's going to perform worse out of the two. That's literally what's going to happen. Like whoever performs the worst is going to lose. But Liverpool have quality, so I see them actually winning or drawing the game. I actually don't see Leeds winning that game. I either see them drawing or losing, but my bets are on a draw. It's going to be like a 2-2 draw or something like that.
I've got a feeling there's going to be a penalty in that game too, and I think whoever does get it will score. So if Salah does get it, I think he will score that penalty.
Put a bet down.
I would put a bet down.
Only if he can move his hands properly.
The last one I want to sort of cast your predictions on, and I think it's going to be the game of the weekend, is Newcastle's trip up to Aston Villa, or down to Aston Villa. Now, with Aston Villa, I think they've got the most points since.
I think Villa's going to take them. If it's at Villa's, actually no, Villa are crap at home though. They're rubbish at home. They're much better away compared to home. So I think that could be a draw. I can't see like Villa. Yeah, because Watkins doesn't really score at home, does he? And he's their main goal threat.
I think he scored in his last 7 games or something ridiculous like that. Villa have been the form team in the Premier League at the moment. So I think
only
Villa
Arsenal have got more points since Emery's come in. So
yeah, they're pretty high up in the Premier League table. I was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, Emery's working his magic.
I see. Well, this is something good for Man United. So all Man United fans will be hoping for a Villa win. But I hope Villa do win because I do need Newcastle to lose. I need their confidence to be a bit low before we face them. So I think it will be a Villa win.
Yeah, same.
Cool. Some interesting predictions in there. Who do you think will win the Premier League? Leave a comment below. And thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.